my youngest daughter said, "Oh my gosh, what is that?" And we all jumped up and looked outside, and my dog had a bird in her mouth. Welcome back to the farm. Today, a couple of things that were fun. Today is the 3-week birthday of the quail, and so I wanted to see how big they were and if they would be able to move to the cages, because they were starting to get crowded in the rabbit hutch that we're using as a brooder. And as you can see, I've moved them out. I've cleaned this out. They had all of the food. I fed them last night before I went to bed, and they had all the food cleaned out. I mean, every speck of food was out of the dish this morning. So they were really hungry, and they ate all the food. So I moved them to these hutches that I built, moved them in there, and as I moved them, they're at 3 to 4 weeks is when they're feather sexable, and the males have kind of a rusty chest and the females have a speckled chest, because we have Italians and Manchurians, a mix of those. And so hopefully I got them right. And then I'll go through in a few weeks, as they all start getting mature, I will get the ones out that we're going to use for breeding, and the rest of them will be processed so we can have some meat. At this point, there probably won't be very many. I'm going to keep probably 2 or 3 for breeding. I'm not sure. I have to figure out how many for breeding, and then I have to figure out how many we're going to do just for eggs. But by my current count, we ended up with 11 males and 15 females. So that should give us about a dozen eggs a day if we use them all for just egg production. So I'm definitely going to have to grow the flock a little bit bigger, and to get better egg production, we're going to need some more females. So we'll be growing some more, and hopefully we can do that from our own stock and not have to buy any more. And we'll see how that goes. So we'll keep all of the stuff that we have here for incubation and doing what we did this last time. And there we go. So I'm going to clean out the shed where I moved them from the incubator. They do create a little mess on the floor, and that's okay. I'm just gonna have to clean that up. But for the most part, the tray caught most of what they were doing. Still have to put a window in, and I'll be doing that later on. Something else that happened is every time I walk out of this shed, I think, is the chicken house leaning? It looks like it's leaning. And sure enough, we went today, and you can see right there, I put a board down. So I had to lean the house back, put a board under one of the legs, because the chickens are digging out underneath it, and as they do, the house was leaning more and more and more. And I thought that every time I came out of the quail shed and looked over there, I thought it looks unbalanced. And so today I was like, okay, yeah, the ground is sinking in where they've been digging around these 2 legs. And so I fixed that today. Okay, so you know how earlier I moved the birds to the bigger cages? I put some paper towels in there, hoping that that would just keep them from trying to get out. And because I tried them in there a few days ago, and one of them crawled underneath and escaped. So we were watching TV a little bit after dinner, and my youngest daughter said, "Oh my gosh, what is that?" And we all jumped up and looked outside, and my dog had a bird in her mouth. So we went out to the quail shed, and they had taken all of the paper towels that I had stuffed underneath so they couldn't get out, and they had pulled them in, I guess, so they didn't have to sit on the wire all the time. And one of them had escaped. The dog, being a dog, only did what it's trained to do, especially this dog. She is a bird dog, and she brought us a bird. She killed it, but she didn't eat it. She wasn't trying to eat it or do anything like that. She brought it to us. She retrieved it for us. So, one down. So, on the plus side, the ELB said, so are you going to see how easy they are to skin? Since you've been wanting to do that forever? So, I just simply peeled open the chest, and they really are that easy to skin. So, once we get there and we start processing the birds, obviously we'll want them a lot bigger than this, but once we start processing them, I know that's really how easy it is. So I've seen that on YouTube plenty of times, and now you've seen it on my channel. But so we're down to 25. That's the number we paid for. So, oh well. Watch the dog and keep the birds in the cage. So to be fair, I don't know if the bird was in the house or out of the house, but the dog's been known to go in there. Every time she goes in there, I tell her no. What I've done is I've made something to where the birds can't get out now. And I can still get into the cage if I need to. I can pull this out, but I just put some corrugated plastic there, and I can rotate these out of the way and I can get in there. But the birds, even if they crawl under now, can't get out. So I'll use that as my secure system now. And the reason I wanted to get them out of there was what I talked about earlier, so I could clean up that I'm using for the brooder, and I could put them in this cage because it's got the better watering system and stuff. So tomorrow I'll come out, or maybe I'll even do it right now. I'll go get my knife and I'll make some more of these, and I'll put it down there, and then I can separate the males back out again, so I don't have all of them up in this one little cage. And maybe I'll put some paper towels in there because they seem to like to rest on that, but I don't know that I really need to. They're big enough that they can handle it. I mean, on the 1/4-inch mesh, they can easily handle this kind of walking around. So that's what we'll do. We'll put some more of these on here so they can't get out. We'll put them down there, and then I can separate the birds back out. But yeah, kind of an unfortunate situation tonight. But oh well, we're down to what we paid for now. Alright, so thanks for watching, and as the updates come along, I'll let you know. Alright, now cheers.